Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Adam Haykal bin Muhammad Zakiron. I am from section 2 for Introduction to Design. Today, I'm going to explain about my minor project for this course. First of all, in this minor project, our lecturer states that there are few mechanisms that we can choose for our minor project. For example, flipper mechanism, trigger mechanism, placing mechanism, motion transfer mechanism, and etc. For my project, I'm choosing trigger mechanism, and for the product, I use fabric spray. Main objective for this project is to conduct a research on the fabric spray to see the mechanism involved inside and the functionality of it. Before I focus more about this fabric spray, we need to know first, what is trigger mechanism? Basically, trigger mechanism that actuates the function of a ranged weapon such as firearm, air gun, crossbow, or spear gun. The word may also be used to describe a switch that initiates the operation of other non-shooting device such as a trap, power tool, or a quick release. A small amount of energy applied to the trigger leads the release of much more energy. There were two types of trigger mechanism, which is single-stage triggers and two-stage triggers. For this fabric spray, it used single-stage triggers. There were 8 components that involved in fabric spray. First of all, the bottle container, the head cover, nozzle, spring, trigger, piston, closure, and plastic tubes. The purpose of fabric spray is to eliminate or cover any unpleasant odors. It also can create a scent that is perceived by the consumer as pleasant. Let's go more detail about each component functions and the pump mechanism for this fabric spray. For the first one, or for the first component, bottle container, which known as reservoir. This part acts as a body for this fabric spray. It is made of plastic and serves as a place to store the fluid of sand that we intend to spray. It's essential to ensure the bottle is clean and free from contaminants before filling it with the liquid. The second one is the head cover, the black one. This part is basically made of plastic. It is functioned as a cover for inner part. The mechanism of this fabric spray, this cover is connected to the trigger. This thing will protect the inner part and cover all of the component inside the fabric spray. This will make the look of the fabric spray more clean and minimalist. After the head cover or the second component, we jump into the main component for this fabric spray, which is the component that includes in the pump of the mechanism for this fabric spray. Let's go. Okay, this is the main component for this fabric spray, which known as a pump mechanism. There were 6 components that includes in the pump mechanism. First of all, the nozzle. This part is determined whether the liquid is released as a mist or steam. It focuses the flow of the liquid, causing it to atomize into fine droplet and then experts it into air under pressure. Then, the second one is the trigger. This trigger is made out of plastic, the black one. This part that we need to squeeze the pump mechanism and release the fluid into a spray or steam. This action changes the air pressure within the pump, which forces the liquid through the system from the tube until the nozzle. Then, after the trigger is basically connected to the piston and spring inside the cylinder. This part, which is the piston and spring, is the critical part of the pump mechanism. When the trigger is being pressed, a spring inside the cylinder is compressed. Then, this stored energy is then released. As you let go out the trigger, the piston will push back to its original position for the trigger. Then, for the other component, which is the closure. This closure will keep the barrier away from dirt or oxygen. It will keep the liquid from undesired premature opening. Lastly, the last component for this fabric spray, which is the plastic tube. This part is connecting to the bottle container to the pump and nozzle. This tube will flow the liquid when the trigger press and creates a low pressure area that will make the fluid inside the reservoir or the bottle container go through the plastic tube until the nozzle, and it will become a spray or steam. For the conclusions, the trigger mechanism are not focused more on firearm equipments but there were many products that use trigger mechanism to function for our daily life. For example, this fabric spray. This fabric spray is one of the simplest product that show how does the trigger mechanism works properly. Few improvement can be done to the fabric sprays to make it more easy to use. For an example, improving the design and functionality of the spray bottle. For an example, easy to use spray nozzles and ergonomic grips. Thank you.